interested in learning what extracurricular activities are and what activities you can do based on your future careers, you can watch our previous programs, which when we have discussed many different types of extracurricular activities, why they are important, and how extracurricular activities can benefit you. And we have also had Alvina as our guest on our show, who spoke about her hobbies in media. You can watch those episodes on our Facebook page, which is Ramadan Radio Wolves. You can also listen live on our app, which is also Ramadan Radio Wolves app. There is also a website that you can go to, which is www.ramadanradiowolves.com. And then there is also you can also listen on the radio via the website www.ramadanradio.net.
In today's episode, we will introduce what different activities there are out there that you can do from home. And at the end, we will talk about which websites offer what online courses and the benefits of them. We thought this would be fitting since we are having to spend most of our time at home, and we also have around 6 weeks left till we go back to school, which is plenty of time to pick up a new hobby, skill, as well as being an extracurricular activity.
As the coronavirus pandemic requires many schools to shut down for the remainder of the school year, you may be wondering how you can keep your extracurricular activities going. Not only are extracurricular activities important for demonstrating your passions and talents, but they also help you to stay busy, which can be hard to do when you're home all day.
Luckily, we can still participate in extracurricular while you're at home. So the first type we're going to be talking about are general ones, and the first one is take an online course, which we will talk more about at the end of our show.
Another one is to start a small business. We have friends who have done this. We've seen their small business grow rapidly, and because everyone at the moment is home doing nothing, social media is such a good platform to begin on. Especially like Instagram, where you can find different people, even in the local area. It's not so far away. There's so many different businesses that you can start.
So there's like eyelash businesses, and there's also like brownies and stuff you can do. And since we're all at home and social media is so big, it's free advertisement for your company in it. So it's like you should make what's the word? Oh, I forgot the word.
Make use of your time.
Make use of your time. And the fact that it's free advertisement, and obviously friends support friends' businesses, and your business can get so far.
And so
the next one is to prepare for an academic competition. So since we have so much free time, you can put that into use for things that you would do if you were at school. So both of us have done an academic competition once in our lives and recently. And some of them, they do take time to practice. Yeah. But some of them don't. But the one, if you do practice with them, you can it shows that you practice with them.
Yeah, and also with all the practice that the knowledge that you gain from the practice that you do, you can, it helps you so much just within school. You may not realise, you may think that, it's just for this one time, but all the different skills that you pick up can help you a lot while you're doing your work. So the next thing that you can do is focus on your education. You can get tutors in this time via Skype or Zoom. There's so many different types of platforms that have introduced a video calling system. There's Microsoft has done it, Google has done it, and so there's such a variety of different ways to get in communication with teachers and things like that. Even on WhatsApp,
you can do WhatsApp calls and video calls. And if your school isn't offering that type, you can always find someone online or a family member that's willing to help you, even if they don't live in the same house as you. You can always do a WhatsApp call and learn from them. And let's say you are good at that subject, you can be the tutor instead, and you can tutor another child, one of your friends maybe, and that could be a business income for you as well. The next one is to start a YouTube channel to teach specific academic concepts like math, science, or foreign languages.
So for this one, as we've just previously said, YouTube is also a really nice platform where many different people can find you just to get some help. I know that when we were still in school, just before our science exams, everyone would go on free science lessons.
Oh my god!
And the person who does it, he's like I think he's quite old.
Yeah, but he's amazing.
And like the persona that he has is like very like boring and robotic. However, the amount of information he gives, I just don't know what it is about him, that so many people from so many different ages have found him so helpful.
I remember when I found him, my scores went from like 0 to 100 because like at school I'd say it's really hard for me to like actually understand what's going on most of the time. And with his videos, it's like 5 minutes long, and I learn like an hour's worth of information in 5 minutes. It's crazy.
I think that's also a really big benefit, that he has such concise information.
Yeah, definitely.
Everything that you need to know on that topic can be literally spoken to you within 5 minutes. I think the school classroom environment is very different because teachers have to work off the lowest denominator who doesn't understand. So if you may understand the first time, someone may not understand 3-4 times after, and so you have to constantly repeat it. It might be the opposite. It might be the teacher moves on too quickly for you to understand and won't then know what's coming next. So for many different reasons, with your free time or with revision, that's a really nice place to go in to learn.
Definitely. And with like foreign languages, I feel like you could really excel if you did make a YouTube channel on it, because you mostly need to actually hear the language to actually learn more about it. So I feel like that would be a really good thing to do.
So the next thing you can do is create and share study materials like flashcards or exam review sheets. So this one's really nice, especially with the amount of time that we've had now. I remember before lockdown, I was thinking that I would write revision notes on every single topic of every subject. However, I don't know where the time has gone. At first, it thought like, it's so long. When are we going back? When are we going back? And I thought I'd be so productive. However, it's just gone a bit.
It's gone too quick.
And it's just gone all over the place. But I know that some people who have made so much study revision materials, and it's so good because when we go into year 11,
you won't get time.
It's going to be so rapid, so fast that you won't even know. It will be a week before our exams, and it's scary to think because I remember in year 9 our teacher had told us to make revision cards for the book that we had studied.
Yeah, and you'd think, why am I making like notes now? I'm going to lose them by that time, but they will come in
and it's
handy.
also like we just don't get enough time. There's so much content to cover
there is.
that it's better to do it and to pace yourself instead of crying about it and breaking your back later.
Probably going to be me. No, but with these, with revision notes, you can even sell them online. You can like make prints of them, and then you can sell them for whatever you want, because there are people out there that will buy them. Because like, as the one that's looking for revision notes, well, I obviously do have time to make them, but I don't think I will make them. So if you're looking for revision notes, you can just look online, and there's so many different types, because some people learn with like loads of colours
and pictures.
Diagrams and that, but other people don't, and they find it a bit too messy.
Yeah, and sometimes it's also like when you're making your own revision notes, you don't know whether you've covered the correct or the most important things. So when you look at somebody else's, you can kind of compare and see, oh, I missed that out, or oh, I've highlighted that really well. So I think that's quite nice to actually compare and see from other students. With people from your class, they may not actually be so happy with giving their own notes, as everyone is in a competition, but online it's a really nice place to find it.
Because let's say if you're in year 11 now and then you're year 12 next year, you won't need those notes, and you can pass them down to the years younger than you. Let's say you have family members younger than you, could pass them on to that, and then The next one is we're going to talk about is technology and computers. So you can learn a programming language and teach yourself or take a course via Coursera, Code Academy, or other platforms. So I feel like with this one, it's like you can do it straight from your home. So anyone can do it. And with online courses, it doesn't matter your age and it's all catered to you in the end.
Mm-hmm. You can also teach yourself a program like Adobe Creative Cloud. It's really nice to really explore the internet and all the uses that it has. With us at this age, the majority of the things that we use is Microsoft Word or PowerPoint. We hardly even use Excel, but in the future it will be so important with the codes that you need to remember, and if you learn it now you won't be struggling and asking other people how to learn it then. And I think it's a really good idea because life is becoming so technology advanced.
Yes, definitely. The next one is to create your own website. So let's say you have a business idea. To further advance your business, you're going to need a website. So there's so many free website something like that, creators, that you can make your website on and actually make it an actual thing.
Mm-hmm. And then what you can also do is teach a family member how to use a
technological device.
And so this one's not saying anything like stereotypical, but many people say that obviously older people aren't as aware of how to use different devices now. With this one, you shouldn't underestimate your parents' knowledge.
That's not what we're saying.
But different things, like the other day I found myself telling my mom every single different type of social media, like the differences and the similarities and what similarities they may have from older apps. I was saying Instagram so similar to Facebook, even though people our age say that it's such an older thing. But if you think about it, they're so similar. It's just like an updated, newer version. And so with that, it's really important for our parents to know if they're in specific career fields. If I give you my example, my mom, she's in medicine, and so when people come to her with different problems and say this person's done this on social media or this person's done this on social media, it's really useful to be aware of what exactly that social media can do and have. For example, like Instagram, you can find anyone and everyone with their name.
Just one search and you can find
then
so many.
With Snapchat, it's slightly harder because of the usernames. Then also you can't message unless they have you as a friend. And so things like this are really important for even the older generation to know and to make yourself more aware.
And as you're teaching someone, that's the best way for you to learn yourself and to retain that knowledge. So let's say you found a new website type of thing and you want to learn more about it. If you could teach someone, someone in your family, then you could remember that information more.
And you also pick up things as you're
learning.
So another thing that you can do over this break is digital media and literature. So for an example of this is starting a blog. I feel like when you hear the word blog, it's like, oh, you think older people do it, or it's a really old thing to do. But it's such a nice way of communicating with different people who want more knowledge about something.
And you can gain a community online so easily. And there's so many different things you can start a blog on. It could be food, it could be fashion, it could be anything. The next one is to write a story, essay or article and submit it for publication. So let's say you're into writing and you don't think you have what it takes to write a book. You can always try. There's nothing wrong with trying. So if you did send it off to a publisher and you maybe didn't get it through, you can always try again.
Yeah, many famous publishers authors, I should say, have literally got so many rejections before their book has been published, and it's become one of the most famous books that you know, like the Harry Potter series. J.K. Rowling was rejected so many times beforehand. With my own personal experience, I'm not like an English-based person, so I'm not really that much into books, because with my mind I'm more logical. So maths is my favorite subject, even though many people hate it. And so but that's like how our brains work. And so with my sister, she's obsessed with English. Since she was 5 years old, she was writing stories. I remember she keeps bringing up, when I was in reception, I wrote Little Red Riding Hood with a twist. And you just pick up these skills from a young age. And now she's really hooked on the fact that she wants to write a book now.
Yeah, she should.
And she's wrote honestly 3 or 4 different storybooks. She's got so into it, and she always says to me as a joke, I need to get it published by this age, so then it can become a movie at this age, and then she can star in the movie. And it's so nice for their imagination.
She can direct it, she can star it.
That's
she wrote it, she's in everything.
And so it's such a nice way for building someone's literature, their knowledge, even vocabulary is so important. And I think it's a really nice thing to do.
And I feel like writing's also different to English, because let's say you're writing an English exam, there's so many things you need to tick off to actually get a grade. But when you're writing your own book, it's all about you. You can write whatever you like, because you're not getting graded on it.
I've been told so many times by many people that authors didn't write a book for it to be in a GCSE.
Yeah, they didn't.
And it's like there's so many aspects where teachers pick out so much when it's not meant to be like that. But that's how our system works, and that's how it's going to be. And so even if you read so many other books, it really extends your knowledge.
Yeah, definitely.
The things that you have. So another thing that's a really nice thing to do is to start a YouTube channel. Now, this might seem so far away from reality. However, it's not as far as you think. If you have an account, all you need to do is click the video button and you can start. YouTube brings so much with it.
Yeah, definitely. You don't even need a camera. You can just use your phone. Like, people think, I need all the equipment first. But first thing to start off, you can use your phone. Take as many takes as you want. There's also free editing apps. You can do whatever you need to do.
Yeah, I remember near the start of lockdown, my uncle, he messaged me and he goes, we are going to start a YouTube channel out of nowhere. Yeah, he did. And I said, and he
Shout
said,
it out. Go on.
Well, that's the thing. It just, sometimes you have an idea and it just doesn't pan out. Like many things. He's he's really into business.
Yeah.
And so he has so many ideas all the time coming. And sometimes it doesn't work, and sometimes it works so well. And like with that in mind, he said to me, he was like, you come up with the idea and then I'll get the views coming.
Yes.
And it's just like, it's the initial idea which is the biggest thing that you need to think about. With my current situation, if I explain it, I've been given my textiles GCSE course, as I've been talking to my friends all the time because I have no idea what to do. We've been given 6 different topics to choose from, and I think many people can relate, that you need to choose one, and your whole project is based on that one topic. Your grade will be given based on what you've done with the topic. Okay. And so after you've chosen the topic, the ball just goes running. And so it's like the initial start.
Yeah, you need to just get the idea
the most important. And so when you can't think of it, it becomes a problem if you're taking so long to think. Yeah. What you should do is just get an idea, start it off. If it goes, it goes. If it doesn't, you still have that time to go back, restart and do it again. Exactly. But if you spend so long thinking and thinking and thinking, then you don't have that opportunity to restart.
Don't go anywhere like that.
So as we were saying with YouTube, previously we've said too, it's such a big platform. People don't even realize I've seen myself, like different YouTubers expanding so quickly, like they've
overnight. It's even overnight.
and it's crazy because there's this one YouTuber family and they have like 19 million subscribers, and it feels like they've been there for so long. However, they've only actually started 3 or 4 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Which is crazy to think, because it's like they become part of your daily life, and then imagine you being part of someone's life to make their day better or to inspire them to do something.
Because when you read comments, everyone's like, oh, you make my day. And imagine being the person reading that. That's crazy. So the next topic we're going to talk about is visual and performing arts. So for this one, you can create a painting, sculpture, or other work of art.
You can also sell products on eBay. Now, with that, many people are like, oh, eBay products aren't good.
Yeah.
But so it's such a good way to either get rid of things that you don't want anymore, to make a bit of money that you may have not been able to if you just throw it away.
Yeah. Because what's the point of just throwing it in the bin? You can always try and just see if someone's going to buy it. The next one is learn how to play an instrument, find an online teacher in your area, or learn from professional musicians with an online service. So there are even apps that do this, and basically you can learn any instrument you like. And there's also like online, you can go on Google and just type in what instrument you want to like do, and then there's also YouTube channels that can teach you as well.
Yeah, and it's not like they start from such a high level. It's like from the very basics up until as high as you'd like to go. So another thing that you can do is politics. Now, we went into quite a lot of detail with this last week. And what was the main point that we had is politics isn't always just about the government that we have. It can be to just write and circulate a petition to change anything that you want, if it's in school, if it's in your local area, if it's for the environment or the park. You can do absolutely anything.
And you can also create marketing materials for a campaign. So let's say you have an idea on something you want to change in life, you the first step into it is like understanding what you want out of it, and then you make marketing for it, and there you go, you're already a step higher. You're literally so close to getting your goal, so you just need to make that extra step while you have the time.
So the final thing that we will be talking about before the break is science. So you can conduct independent research through surveys, interviews and experiments that you can do at home.
So there's so many, like you just have to go on Google and type in experiments to do at home, and there's so many. Like I was looking the other day, there's this, just like with household items as well. Yeah,
it's like in the science lab within school, it's slightly different because they have all the chemicals and metals but that's not all what experiments are. You can have so many things, as you said, like household equipment that can help you to either discover something new or like expand your knowledge on how different things actually work.
Because I feel like when you're younger, you always like mix loads of things together and make potions and stuff like that. You can take that on as you grow older and learn so much more. The next thing you can do is create your own compost area in your backyard or plant a garden. So with planting a garden, it's so like time consuming as well, and there's always a benefit at the end.
Yeah, it's really nice to see something from scratch actually being grown, to see the different life stages of a plant, from when it's a seed and it grows its roots and its first stem pops out. And then
you feel like so excited when you see like the first stem.
I keep mentioning my sister, but she's so into like gardening and things like that. So after the break, we'll come back and discuss different things that you can do for extracurricular activities at home. Assalamu alaikum, you are listening to Ramadan Radio. I am your teen host Shehreen.
And I'm your teen host Lybah. Welcome back to our Teens Talk Show. So before the break, we were talking about politics, science, visual and performing arts, digital media and literature, technology and computers, education, and general things. So now we're going to be talking about fitness and nutrition.
If you want to call in and send any messages or questions, our telephone number is 01902 972 150. And if you would like to send a text message, you can text on our WhatsApp number 074 404 20432. But remember, you cannot call on our WhatsApp number. So, as Lybah's just said, we are going to focus on fitness and nutrition. So what you can do is train for a marathon or a half marathon.
And basically for this one, since you're at home, you can just, because now we're allowed to go outside and do exercise, that I think it's very important that you could spend your time training for a marathon.
Mm-hmm.
Next, you can start a virtual walk run for a charitable cause. As we know, the 19-year-old...
99.
The 99-year-old war veteran, Captain Tom Moore, he raised over £23 million by completing 100 laps of his garden before his 100th birthday.
Yeah, and imagine his aim was only £1,000 for the NHS, and never in his wildest dreams I would imagine that he thought that he could get to 1 million, let alone 23 million.
Wow.
And it's crazy. He was like all over the news, and with that is so much community spirit.
Yeah, definitely.
So what you can also do is create a newsletter or YouTube channel, as we've said, with healthy eating tips or home workouts. So with this one, we can see all around us it's happening.
Definitely, yeah.
And as we spoke about last week, we mentioned Joe Wicks.
P with Joe, yeah.
And how he has advanced just by doing what he loves. He's got definitely the benefit of it, and we've also got the benefit because just because he's so much more popular, he hasn't stopped what he's always done.
Exactly.
He's so encouraging. He does his live streams, and so it's really nice to have somebody, if there's no one athletic or wanting to do it at home, you still have his encouragement too.
Yeah, because he's always, while you're watching him, you don't even need like someone else to motivate you, because he's a big enough motivator as himself. And there's so many other YouTube channels as well, like Chloe Ting, and how she's become so famous. Like, I never knew about her before, and how her popularity has spiked so much, and people are benefiting from there. And you can get you can see people's transformations as well. Yeah,
the ones that she does, it's like there's so many for beginners.
Yeah, she does a whole program series, a schedule.
There's also one for like people who may want more benefit and more intense workout. And what I also saw her do is different alternatives for healthier food and things that you can make from home. A really important thing that she said is that she could never let go of chocolate. She loves it so much.
Exactly. That's how you know someone's like keeping it real with you.
Yeah, and then it's also like that's a really big thing that people forget or don't understand, is that it's not about like reducing or taking away all sweet things.
It's all about moderation in the end.
Yeah, and it's also with taking something away that you really want, you can only do that for a certain period of time, say a week or 2 weeks, but after that you'll want it so bad that you'll go even worse than you were before, because you'll have so much of it, you'll crave it so bad, and then once you even get a bite.
You'll just go
then
back into your old ways,
And so it doesn't actually help you, and it doesn't benefit, because the whole point of fitness and working out and is for you to feel good within yourself, to be happy with your body, the way you look. It's not all about impressing people, and it's also about being able to maintain it.
Definitely.
Like, as I know, like our whole family's like, oh, we're going to go on a diet. And the biggest thing is to maintain it, because you can lose weight rapidly, but you can gain it as fast as you lost
the faster you lose it, I feel like the faster you gain it back if you just go out of that straight away. So the next one is a bit of a controversial one. It's to get involved with esports. So what esports actually is, it's a form of a sports competition using video games, and they often takes the form of organized multiplayer video games competitions, particularly between professional players individually or as teams. So this is all online, so some people don't class it as a sport because it doesn't have the fitness in it, but it also takes a lot of skill. So that's why people would class it as a sport.
Yeah, with things online, they can be very useful. Like I saw the other day, there was a YouTuber and he had like a full-on VR set, but obviously they're so expensive, that's not affordable for everyone. And even like with me, I wouldn't have a point of using it. But for people who do, it's like there's so many good things that actually do get you sweating in different sports that you want to do. But for people who don't want or don't have things like video games or like any of the sort, there's so many different links that you can go to. I feel like we've mentioned YouTube so many times, but it's such a good place to go to. But even not on YouTube, but the internet, like as I was speaking with Lybah before, our school has given us so many different options. I think we've mentioned them previously. There was one where it's like Netflix.
Well, yeah, I didn't even look through that one yet.
So it's like there's like 5-minute videos of so many different types of sports. It's not just sports. It's like there's workouts, there's cardio, there's dance, there's yoga, there's meditation. It's all just to help you, your physical state and your mental state, because exercise is one of the best things to get your mind to relax, and to even get out stress, and so they're really good ways to help with different aspects of your life. Then there's also things if you like to go old school and play board games, things that we used to play as kids, like snakes and ladders. Even now, like we play Monopoly. There's so many different ones where you can get fitness instead of like cards and the money. And so with every step that you take, it's improving you in the end. And like if you go backwards, then you have to pay the consequences. Then there's also things like based on the letters of your name, there's an exercise linked to every letter.
So if you have a really long name,
it's like, with me, I have 8 letters in my name.
I have 5, so you're going to be doing more than me.
It's like my mom only has 4 letters, and so it's like unfair in that way. But it's really nice to just have that competition within like yourself even. So like our next point is to try solo sports such as running or weight training. And so even like the board games, as we mentioned, like with our names, you can do that within yourself, make a time limit, being able to do all the sports. And it's such a good way to do exercise without needing someone else there.
And it's also nice to do exercise like without it being a chore, because you wouldn't want to do it if you're like not enjoying it. So having so many different types of ways to do it, like with the board games and the name games, it's a different type of perspective of it, and then you wouldn't think of it as, oh, exercise, I don't want to do this exactly. So next one we're talking about is hobbies. So we've already talked about this like so many times before, and so I'm just going to go over like what it shows. So hobbies tells you what you're passionate about, and it can help you stand out. It shows a student who are intellectually curious, are driven to keep learning outside the classroom and dedicate themselves to a unique pursuit.
So the next point we're going to talk about is literature. We did mention literature before, but that was linked with digital media. This is more to do with like English, the language, and to just expand your own knowledge. So what you can do is encourage your friends to read 5 classic novels and start your own book club. This might sound a bit boring.
Yeah, but to the people where they like read books oh my god, this is my sister basically. So she can read so many books in one day, like she won't get bored of it. I don't know how many books there are in the world she can read. She's probably read all of them.
Yeah, it's like with our old English teacher. She said within a week she can read 50 books. It's crazy.
It's crazy, but people enjoy reading books. It takes them to like a whole different world. Like there's so many benefits of reading a book, which we're going to talk about in a bit. But
also, what I was going to say is, with me especially, as I said before, that I've never enjoyed reading books. Even though it's reading books is such a good thing to not only expand your vocabulary, but just to make you aware of the situations that have taken place in the world, or just even to get away from this world with fictional books. It can help you to just divert your mind to something better. So with me, in the past, I don't think I've ever finished a book, because up until I think year 7, so during primary school, what I would do is I would pick up a book, I would start it and reach about halfway. I would just get bored of it straight away. So I would just pick up another one, do the exact same thing, and then pick up another one. And so I would have like about 10 books which I'd started and not finished. And if I was honest, I didn't want to finish. And so what we did in year 7 was that our teacher gave us a card, and to just ask any of our friends or any of our class fellows what books they would recommend. And so I had this one friend, and she loves books so much. She just I know that she just reads books all the time, and so she gave me a list of books. She had all of them in her house. So what she did is she sent me a photo of every blurb of the books, and she was like, you can choose whichever one and I can lend it to you. And I think that's the biggest difference when you actually get the book in your hands. It kind of makes you feel more like you can read it instead of just been given a name of a book.
Exactly.
And then you have to find it from the library or even buy it, and then
like it's so
you
much
might not
effort
like
as
it.
well.
And so just with a friend lending it to you, and obviously you can't ruin it, and just by actually having the book physically in front of you, it makes a lot of difference. And so I think she gave me about 7 different books, and on that day my bag was so heavy. But out of those 7 books, I actually only read one of them, and I became so obsessed with it.
Wow.
I would read it day and night, and because I have a logical brain, as I said, with maths, and so the majority of things I would read would be non-fiction. But with this, it was a fictional book, and it's nothing I've ever read before. And if anyone's interested, the book's called Slated, by an author called Terry, and so it's actually a series. It's the first book of a series of 3. And I loved it so much. It was the first book I had finished, and so what I did is I returned the book to her, but I actually got the second book and the third book, and I read them all completely. And it's kind of just getting the right author. I feel with children's books, it's either David Walliams or Roald Dahl, and their books their different books are so similar that if you don't like the concept, you just don't like the concept.
For me, I just love David Walliams books. I think I have them all at home, I feel like. And then I just keep reading the same one over and over again.
And then but if you have like a book club or people who are interested in different genres,
you can learn more.
They can give you so many different ideas.
And you can also join a virtual book club. So I did some research on these, and basically they have like discussions where it's like an online group call type of thing. And what you do, so you pick a book at the start of the week, and then you all go home and you read it, and then you discuss it. So like I remember, I think it was in primary school, and I was in the book club, and then basically we had like 4 books to read, and then I remember it was like a competition. Then I remember just reading them all, trying to make notes on them, and like it was difficult because it was a competition. Then you'd go there, and then you get asked questions to know if you've actually read the book or not. Then I realized there's so much to like one book that discussing it with someone, it changes the whole book. So I feel like if you're interested, if you have like an author that you really like, you can find a group online that also like that author, and you can discuss the book on there.
Yeah, so reading is very, very good for you. So research shows that regular reading can improve brain connectivity,
increase your vocabulary and comprehension,
empowers you to empathize with others,
reduces stress,
improves focus.
And so the next topic is art. And basically you can learn a new art medium such as sculpting, quilting or photography. So with these, obviously you're going to need like
some supplies.
Yeah, supplies. Yeah. But you can get for cheap. Like you don't need to get the most expensive ones to make an art piece work. And you can try out what you like, and you might discover a new medium that you've never worked with before.
You can also take online graphic design courses. This really just elaborates on art itself. It's not all about physically having to draw and paint, but on the internet there's like obviously so many editing things, many art and design, and you may think that I feel like people think that art is a gender subject.
Yeah, but it's really not.
There's like so many talented males and females.
The most talented ones are always like the most famous ones you find out, like Picasso and Van Gogh, and they're both males.
Yeah. And like even if you don't take art as a subject in school, it's no reason why you shouldn't just pick up a pencil and just start drawing. You never know where it might lead you. With me, art has been like a big part of my life, because if ever I'm upset or happy or excited or however I feel, I just draw. And even like with doodles as well, it can help you calm down.
Same for me, but like I don't think I'm good at drawing. I can't draw to save my life, to be honest. But like with painting, I feel like you can do so much with paint. Like it's crazy how many things you can actually do with it. And since we're talking about like graphic design, and so then like let's say you're not good at drawing, you don't need to be good at drawing to actually do art. So, and with graphic design, there's so many things that you might need it for. Let's say you're in a job and you need to make a logo. Graphic design, you don't need to hire a graphic designer. You've taken that cost out and you put it on yourself, so that's benefited their company as well. It's benefited you, so you could even make that into a business as well. So it's crazy if you could just take a course and then your whole life could start from there. So the next is family. Since we have so much free time and you're with your family, you can research your family history.
You can ask family members who are sheltering in places with you to share a skill or hobby such as car repair or cooking, anything that they might like that you may not have any experience with. I think family is so important because they're like the foundation from where you start. They've seen you at your worst times, they've seen you at your best times, and it's crazy to think how many people just forget their family once they've gotten busy with their own life. With me, my family connection is really strong, and I don't think I would want it any other way. With our extended family, they all live out of the country. So in England or in the UK even, it's just my parents, me and my sisters. And with that, it does make it slightly trickier. If a good thing has happened in your life, it's not so easy that you can just call them over and celebrate. As my parents did do when they were younger, because they had like their cousins and aunties and uncles around them. However, we try our absolute best to constantly be talking to them, to visit them every year in whatever country they're in. Majority of them do live in Pakistan, and so like that's such an important part of my life. I think family is something that you can't replace, or there's no substitute for it.
Definitely. And like with lockdown, not being able to see my cousins every week, I just realized how I took it for granted. Like I would be so bored on Sunday, just like I wish they could come. And then before, like I wouldn't make it as like such a thing as, oh, like I don't know, I don't think I appreciated them enough as I like do now.
Yeah, because it was like a constant
it was a constant thing. It's like I've had it since I was like born. Like they would come every single week. It was just something that happened. And then when that all stopped, it was crazy. I was like, what's happening? I don't like this. Like who am I meant to talk to? I don't like this.
And it's like we're not like saying anything to either for us to brag or
definitely not.
People might take it the wrong way because their family situation might be slightly different. And I know like some people who are just getting fed up of being around the same people constantly. But you should like take time to appreciate, just talk to them. If you're not on good terms, you can like fix it, have a common interest, or try and help the situation, because you may only realize it when it's too late. Maybe a family member has passed away and you were never good with them, and then after you regret it, and that's not a regret that you should have to deal with, because it's so powerful and strong.
Exactly, like anyone can go like tomorrow, today, right now. So the next one is foreign languages. So you can take an online course in a new language, practice with native speakers on a language exchange website. So as you said, your sister, and she has the app, and she says Spanish.
Yeah, so there's the app, if you're not familiar with, it's called Duolingo. And so I think there's actually so many different languages that you can learn on that app.
It's not literally just all of it. I think every single language.
And it's so good because it starts from beginners and basics. But if you've already studied it, that's an option too.
You can just revise it over in it.
Yeah, and I think for us especially, as we've missed like 5 months of content with our Spanish, just things like that to reinforce and learn new things, just to keep on top of things, is really beneficial. So with connection to this, so free online. So for next week, we are going to have a special guest who is a police officer who will talk to us about cyberbullying and how to report a case and things such as that. And you guys can ask questions next week. And on the questions you're going to ask, our number is 07440420422. Thank you for